like that.
Okay, would you like to give a shout out?
I want to shout out to my family. You all are wonderful. Thank you all for all the confidence and all the things that you do for me, and our wonderful team. If you all are watching, I love you all, and I'm enjoying this season with you all so far, and I'm so excited to keep it going with you all.
Well, girls, I appreciate you being on, and good luck this season.
Let's go fishing. You know it's really great. Let's go fishing. In the rivers and on the lakes. Let's go fishing. It's easy when you try. Floating on the water with good old Steve and Mike. Floating on the water with good old Steve and Mike.
Oh, yeah. All right. I guess we're on, aren't we, Dylan? Whoa. I let the microphone touch my shirt. How's that audio? Sounds good? All right. Like I said, our TV's not on in the studio, but we're going to say hello, folks, and welcome to the Let's Go Fishing Show. Good to have you with us tonight. Looked like we got a little calm spell, Mike, between the storm.
Yes, sir.
Got another one headed this way. So
Hope it ain't as rough as what they've had down south.
I 100% agree with that, Mike. I saw some of that on the news this afternoon. It didn't look good.
No, it sure don't.
Sure don't look good. Maybe these old mountains will keep it off of us. Hopefully. They've done a good job so far.
Yeah.
Sure have. We got, want to say hello to Dad, to Bill, Mike Pennington, Paul Harrison, and talked to Bill, let's see, what was it, Tuesday evening, and he'd been to the doctor, and they told him they could help him.
That's good.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to that, and he said, he's having problems with both of his hips, and they gave him a shot in that one there that's hurting so bad. And he said if things go right, and I said we're either going to leave Thursday, which is today, or either Friday morning. So I figure he's probably watching, and they'll probably pull out in the morning going back down to Dale Hollow. Now, they had a good week down there, week before last, and they came back home on Sunday. They had a good week. Bill said they caught several bass.
Yeah, he said somewhere between 40 and 60 there. They lost count.
Yeah, and he said they got out there one morning and said that he caught 5 back-to-back casts, and 2 of them was 20 inches, and the other 3, I think, was 19 inches. He said they was nice ones, I'm telling you. So we just hope that continues. I don't know how much rain they got out at Dale Hollow today, last night and today. Hopefully it wasn't enough to mess up everything, and I hope they get to go back in the morning and have a good week to fish.
Yeah.
So we'll try to stay in contact with them and find out. Dylan, our little TV is still not on. Yeah, we're looking at the camera, but we don't seeing anything that's coming up, and we got some info here on the.
Now you got a green light now.
I believe you might have it. Give it a little minute to warm up. Yeah, it's coming. Looking good. We got some stuff we told y'all last week. It was called in about the crappie tournament going on at Watts Bar April the 10th. Well, there's several rules and regulations that you got to. The biggest thing is getting signed up for it. I don't know, Dylan. Can you put that up on the screen? Yeah. We've got 2 pages full of stuff here. ACC Crappie Stick Big Crappie Bash, presented by Crappie Cove. Tournament dates April the 10th, Watts Bar Lake, Tennessee, and it goes on. You can weigh a fish. You can come in hourly and weigh a big fish if you've got it, and then they urge you to go back out on the lake and continue fishing and that kind of stuff. But there's a phone number here to call. It's an 865 number, 233-3471. Ask for Misty. And the hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you want to call that number, maybe Dylan will get this thing up on the screen and let you all read it for yourself and get that phone number if you're interested in fishing this thing. And you have to pay in advance. So there will be no morning registration on Saturday of the event. So you got to be paid up before the tournament. 2 anglers are allowed per boat, and anglers may also fish alone if they so choose to fish alone. So, yeah, buddy. I don't know, Mike. I guess you've thought about this a whole lot.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of them last things there about it, the way I understand it there, unless you're catching the fish on that certain rod that they're trying to push there, I don't know if you can even win the grand prize.
It says ACC Crappie Stick Contingencies. Anyone who catches the hourly winning fish using the ACC Crappie Stick will be awarded an additional $250 bonus on top of the $400 hourly winnings. And the grand prize winner is only eligible if using the ACC Crappie Stick to land the fish, subject to a polygraph test.
Yeah, what to say.
That's what, yeah. That's
The contingency, I guess, is what they're talking about there, is how many people enter it.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Mike, possibly.
They, get enough people to enter it to do the paying out that they're talking about, because they said 100% payback.
Yeah, it's $100 per boat entry fee.
Yeah.
And says entry fee for the event is $100 per boat. Payment is due upon restoration when calling Crappie Cove at the number I gave you at between 10 and 5, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And credit cards accepted. 2 anglers are allowed per boat, unless you want to fish by yourself. And there will be no refunds of the entry fee unless the event is permanently canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Restoration for an event closes at 5 p.m. on the Thursday, April the 8th. There will be no morning restoration on Saturday of the event. Tournament day. Well, okay, Dylan. Now I just looked up and saw you with that up on the screen. Hey, if you've got any questions on that, you want to call over here. We'll try to give you some more info on it if you've got a question, if you're interested in it. And it says the hourly weigh-in site will be at Tom Fuller Memorial Park boat ramp on Watts Bar Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Anglers are free to weigh their crappie at any time during the designated hourly weigh-in, but you must be checked in at the scale site, ready to weigh in before the end of the designated hourly weigh-in. Anglers may travel to the weigh-in location by boat or may trailer back to the weigh-in location. If trailering back to the weigh-in, back to weigh a fish, both anglers and boat must attend. After weighing a fish, anglers are free and are asked to proceed immediately back to the boat or lake to continue fishing after weighing their crappie. Okay, Mike. And it says anglers may launch from Tom Fuller Memorial Park boat ramp or any ramp they choose after they have checked in, had their live well checked, and attended the mandatory 6:45 a.m. meeting at Tom Fuller Memorial Park. Well, there you go, Mike.
Yeah.
That's about as good as I can do it. I mean, there's still one other little sentence down here. It says, says this information does not supersede nor does it substitute for reading the official event rules.
Yeah.
So the application you fill out, I guess, will have some more stuff that you have to, some more rules and regulations.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, there you go. I think you and Tony Gallahar's thinking about fishing it, or thought about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the bang for the crappie tournament, and it doesn't. It's most tournaments have about the same rules.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good deal. Anyway, we're moving right along. Let's see, what else was it I was going to mention? Yeah, don't forget about Reynolds Racing and Marine. Make sure you get on their website, check out the boats, the engines, and stuff. They got things just loaded with information. If come across something you're interested in, give them a call, meet up with them, check them out down there, go look at what they've got, and they're doing good things right there for sure. Thinking about a new engine for your boat, they're the area factory repair dealer in the area, so they've got some things that Mercury has, some discounts and some warranty stuff that you might be interested in for when you repair your boat. So ask about that when you get there.
I've been thinking about that pretty hard, but I just can't get my wife to go along with it.
Yeah, me too, Mike. These four strokes are, everybody I've talked to that's got one is just really impressed with it.
Yeah.
They they got a bigger prop shaft. Normally have to get a new prop, and because like I said, they've got a lot of low end torque, because the boats have just got heavier.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Used to, you went out there with a boat that weighed 1,500 pounds. It didn't take a whole lot to get it going. And now, shucks, the boats are up there 2,500 pounds. You're carrying 85 pounds of the battery, 4 batteries in the boat. Shucks, you got that third person in the boat with you all the time.
Yeah.
Whether he's sitting there or not, he's in there.
Mm-hmm.
So these motors have gotten a lot more torque, and low-end torque, and to carry the heavier boats and the heavier loads. Used to, you had a little old flasher in the dashboard, or maybe something up on the front that might have weighed 20 pounds. Now you got 216 or minimum 2 12 inches on the dash and a 12 up front, or maybe 2 12s up front.
Yeah.
Some of them's got those 16 and 20 inch screens, and it's like a sailboat.
Yeah.
When you're running down the lake. So you got a lot of wind resistance. But I mean, that's just part of the we all want a bigger boat, and you got to have all the stuff to go with it, and it's just a lot heavier.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So these 4-stroke engines, Mercury's got doing a real good job about carrying the load. You can get a bigger prop and helps get that load up on the water, up on top, and carry the load that you're carrying around. So now another thing too, Mike, instead of 5 reeling rods, you're carrying 15 or 25. All that tackle you got stashed around everywhere.
I got plenty of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We used to go down there with a 19-foot boat and a 200 on it or whatever, and shucks, running the 80s, and you carried your tackle you could put in a sandwich bag. Now you got every box you got on the boat plumb full, 20 reeling rods, and
I cut back. I just went to 19.
Yeah, there you go. But do check with Reynolds Racing and Marine, our folks, on their website and get a look at some of those boats. And I still hadn't got to go by there and see if that dual console express is still sitting there. I'm going to try to get down there this weekend if at all possible, just to take a peek. All right. Well, Mike, you got a little crappie film out here.
Yeah, I got just a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't do all that good, but I took a lot of time looking around, checking other places out.
Oh, you was scouting. I know what you was doing now. That's why you didn't catch any. You wasn't fishing. You was scouting for the tournament.
I guess you could say that. I
Yeah.
was just trying to find new places, instead of beating the same ones to death all the time.
Right. Okay. That's understandable if you're thinking about competing in this crappie tournament. That's nothing wrong with that, and that's what you need to do. I'll tell you one thing. If you had them 7 that you brought me the other day, I think you'd stand a pretty good chance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I sure do. Them was 7 dandies, buddy. I mean, and I did see a picture on the internet. Some guy caught a 4-pound something state record up. I think it's in Indiana, somewhere along in there. Up north there, a new state record for crappie. But it's 4 pounds and something. So I saw the picture of the fish and on the boy's telephone, but it's a nice one. So, anyway, there's a few of them around.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. You ready to go to the film?
Whatever you want to do.
Are you ready, Dylan? All right, show Mike's film there, will you? All right.
Okay, folks, I'm back down here, Big Springs, Hornsby, whichever one you want to call it. I'm going to get back out here. Water's halfway decent back in here. It's got a little bit of color to it, but not bad at all. I don't know what the main channel looks like out there. Right now, I'm looking at 54-degree water, so they ought to be biting somewhere. So it's going to be a nice day if that wind don't get too rough. It'll be all right. But anyway, we'll get out here and get a minnow down and try it, see what we can figure out. And, but remember the sponsors, and let's go fish. I got one to bite there finally. He'd be close to keeping, I don't know. We'll try him out and see. There we go. Now we got him. We'll measure him see. I don't get me awful close. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh yeah, he's 10.5. That's good. See if there might be another one there. Another one here. Got 3 cranks off the bottom. Good little bitty crappie. First one was about 29 foot. That nerve, I'd say it was about 25. He would never get long enough, I know that. I'll check his tree. I think yeah, 8. Just a tad short. Got him in wrong, try it again. Well, it's got a shade of color to it out here, a little more than what it had back there in the holler. That might make a big difference. You just got to pound at it a little more and see what's going on. There's another little one here. He had me hung up. I didn't think I was going to get loose, but I did finally. I don't think he's going to make it either. Nah, he just back that other one. He was brushing the line. We'll find a big one here in a minute. There's another one on here. Just like that other. He gets across the land. Try that again. There's another one here. See what he's going to do. That's the same thing. This ain't going to make it. It's going to be a little short, I believe. Yeah. Be a little short. Seems to be plenty of them there. Get something with some size to it. I'd say that one was probably around 32 foot. Keep pounding around here. Hopefully we'll get a big one. Let's check this one out. It feels a little better. Nah, he ain't no better. Still the same thing. Just a little meaner, I guess. Oh, now that feels a lot better. See what he's gonna do. Oh yeah. That's the one we're looking for right there. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one there. Yeah, that's the kind we like. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, there you go. 13-inch fish there. Right. Okay, that feels a little better to start off with, and I don't know. Now, I don't think he'll keep. Mean little rascal, I'm telling you. He's close, but he just ain't gonna do it. Try it again. Give it one more try. What we got here? Another one of them littlins. We're gonna hunt us another spot here. Maybe we can find something with a little bit bigger fish in it. There's plenty of littlins here, that's for sure. Plenty. Got one here. Yep. Yeah. Yes. That's a keeper. Oh, yeah, 12 inches. Try that again. A mineral. Well, folks, I got one, but I'm afraid he's got whiskers. No, it's a big old drum. Mm-mm. See what we got here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the ones we're looking for right there. My goodness. What a slab. Whew. Yeah, that's the ones we're looking for right there. Put him back. See if we can find some more of them. Yeah. See if we can find some more of them. Alright. We got something else here, I don't know. Right, like a crappie, maybe a stripe or something. Is this a crappie? No, it's a stripe. That's what I thought. Well, open your mouth up, you crazy thing. Yeah. Alright, folks. I throwed that minnow floater there. Shallowed up about 3 foot deep, throwed it in every side of the dang tree. About 5 foot deep, and you see what jumped on that minnow. Yeah, sure did. He's gonna be a big boy one of these days. He didn't waste no time getting on it, I'll tell you that. We'll rig up and see if we can go back in there. Okay, folks, it's getting a little bit late. Cloud cover's moved in, the wind's been blowing. Can't seem to get a bite, and I've been from 47 my way into 2 foot of water. I don't know what's happened to them, but it just all of a sudden shut off for some reason or another. So anyway, I'm gonna put it on the trailer and head toward the house. See you on the show.
All right, Mike. Okay, that How many big fish did you catch? Good ones. I mean, was that one was the best one you had?
One of the biggest one, the other was 12, a little more, 12 inches there. It was
Yeah.
a decent crappie.
Mm-hmm.
The water warmed up a little more that day. It got up right at 60 degrees, 59 something. And the wind was blowing a little bit there and stuff. But there was some, a lot of crappie hitting, but they just wasn't no size to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, I started out in there 12, 15 foot on some good structure and never got a strike out of it. It just kept moving out deeper and deeper. Ain't no reason why they shouldn't be in there in 15 foot of water right now or less, you know, and especially in the back of some of them creeks where water's warming up like that. But I don't know, it's just going to take them some more time. But I noticed that the minnows, instead of being out real deep, there's different depths of minnows running around, and seen a lot of on the graph, just spots here and there, you know, when you're idling through there picking up fish, which to me that'd be the ones that people trolling would start catching, you know. But I never seen anybody trolling. But
Right.
you never know what they're going to do. They're liable to all be back out deep next week, or it may be right in there again, the bank again. That's where they ought to be heading anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But now last year and the year before, even after springtime had done broke, there was still fish out there in that deep water.
Mm-hmm.
It hadn't moved up yet, but you know.
Well, you know, that water, that we've talked about it and talked about it. You know, it takes a little more hotter days to warm that water up 20 foot deep. You
Well,
know,
it
the
does.
first foot or two, and then the 2 foot, 3 foot, and then 4 foot. It gets.
I think the fish is going to stay out there where the minnows is at, where they can feed, because just about everyone you catch, you look down there, you can probably see a tail of a shad down in his throat. You know,
Yeah.
well, they're feeding pretty heavy down there, so.
Right.
That,
Well, you know, over the years, we've said that, in other words, you catch fish up there in 5 foot of water and the water temperature's 75 degrees. After that, you know, when that water gets 76 degrees, 77 degrees, they start moving out a little bit.
mm-hmm.
You know, they won't, and especially if there's bait out there, food for them out there. So they're not going to stay in there in that 80 degree water a whole lot. And if it is, it's in the shade.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a comfort zone, and that's why we catch them out there in 30 foot deep, you know, in July and August.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if not, they'd all stay right in there in 5 foot of water.
Yeah, well, they're going to stay where that dinner table's at, and that's them minnows.
Yeah, and so the minnows, they do the same thing. They're out there, you know, they move out and the fish move out. So, you know, what we think, in other words, I'm trying to get to this point that 60 degree water may be a good temperature for a crappie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when it's 60 degrees and 3 foot of water, they're in there spawning, and then as that water gets a little warm, they move back out a little bit.
Yes, sir.
You know, bass do the same thing. You know that. You catch them in there on the bank one time, and when it gets hot, why they out there and under the boat.
Yep.
So, you know, what is the perfect temperature range for a crappie or a bass?
Well, they said 72 degrees for crappie and bass both.
Yeah.
Smallmouth 62, so, you know.
Right.
Walleye, I reckon they like that 72 degree water too.
Well, that was something Bill was talking about too. The walleye out there, his buddy he came in out there last week, and he told Bill, when I talked to Bill Tuesday, he'd talked to him a couple of times, and he hadn't done any good on the walleye. And so Bill and Paul was going to try to walleye fish some, while they were out there this week and or this coming week, because if the storm was bad, they wasn't going to leave till tomorrow, and hopefully the weather will be cleared out and be good for them the rest of the week. But they were going, and the moon coming full too, they were going to try to walleye fish some and hope they get on them. But yeah, that temperature is a biggie, and for the bait fish and the crappie and the bass and everything else too. So.
Well, I ain't saying that they're going to stay in that comfort zone. They may move up and feed in hot water for a small time, and then right back out where they want to be comfortable once they get their belly full. We've seen that happen several times. I remember when I caught that big smallmouth down in Dale Holler, caught him 30 foot deep, and got him to the house and cleaned it, and his stomach was plumb full of grasshoppers.
Yeah.
And I caught him off the end of an island where the water had come up, and the grass that was on top of it was full of grasshoppers. So he'd been up there middle of the summer, and at 80-something degree water. He'd been up there in that eating them grasshoppers, and went back down out there 30 foot deep.
So. Yeah. He had his belly full, and he wasn't gonna need him staying up there getting roasted.
No.
All right. Well, I mean, what do you think about the crappie tournament? I mean,
I don't know. I'd like to read the other rules on it. Maybe I could get a copy of it or something, call them up and see if we can or something. I don't like the idea that you can't win the big prize if you ain't got one of their rods and got to catch them all on one of them rods to be able to. Of course, I guess that's the whole deal. The tournaments try to promote their rods, I guess. But, the reason they're paying extra on each hourly weigh-in if you're using that rod. I've never seen one. Have you?
Not that I've really paid any attention to it a whole lot. When I'm crappie fishing with you, I usually have a spinning rod 6.5 foot or so, and that's about it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been to the bait store to look for a crappie rod. Probably should, but I don't. Like too many rods there in the boat and then hanging on the wall now. But there's some people that just do nothing but crappie fish, whether it be trolling or casting, or straight up and down like you fish or whatever. I don't know. I'm like you. There's got to be some more rules with that. That spider rigging where they got about a dozen rods out around the front of the boat, different depths. I don't know. That's fine. You need to call that number.
Yeah, that's what I say. I don't know whether you can use live bait or you have to use artificial bait and, a lot of other things like that.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about, how many rods you can use if they come in there with 6 off each side in the front and 6 off each side in the back, That's 24 rods they got out on you.
Yeah, they got 24 chances to your one.
Yeah, that's right.
Not very good odds, but yeah, there needs to be some more explanations made there on that kind of thing of how many rods you can have in the water at one time and that kind of stuff. So yeah, you need to call that number. Now that you got all the preliminary paperwork down here, you can give that gal a call and see what the deal is. Anyway, Dylan, have you got that other picture ready? All right, put that on the screen. Okay, folks, let me tell you about that deal right there. A guy that I know pretty good, his son was out on the lake on Norse this past week, and he caught that smallmouth on the red crankbait. Well, when he got it up to the boat, it had that jerkbait hung on the side of its jaw. So, you know, he made a little money that day. That jerkbait's probably $10 to $12, maybe 15. So, but the fish had that jerkbait hung on the side of his head, and he struck that orange crankbait, or the red crankbait. So, pretty good catch there, Mike.
It was.
Yeah.
You know, just like the crappie down there the other day, next to the biggest one I had, where I was sitting on that place, there's one struck, and I set the hook, it missed him. I fished around there and caught a couple of small ones, and dropped back down there, and then I caught that good one. When I got him up, there both of my minnows was still on the hooks, and that other minnow was down in his mouth there.
Yeah.
So he hit that minnow to start with and still had it. So, you know, once they're feeding on something, whether they, you know, they just keep eating on everything as long as it don't disturb them too much.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I thought that was pretty interesting. I've caught a few fish with line hanging out their mouth, and
oh yeah, yeah.
You know, worms half swallowed and that kind of stuff. I think I've even caught one with a crankbait in his mouth or hanging on the side of his mouth. So I know one time Sherry and I were down there fishing, and we were throwing plastic worms, and the guy come up on this dock, and I threw it in kind of the right upper corner of it there, and got a little bite, and I set the hook on it, and I said, son of a gun. It stripped that worm off. Well, 25 yards from that dock was another one. Well, I got down, rigged me up another plastic worm, got up there to the other dock, and I throwed it kind of a couple of feet back under there. Felt that little tick, and I set the hook. That bass was about 14 inches long, and I pulled him up there, and I said, son of a gun, if he didn't have that dock where he jerked the worm off the hook was still in his mouth. Yeah, he had it about half swallowed, and I showed it to Sherry. She said, what is that? I said, well, he was at this dock, took that worm away from me, and I said, he just run over here to that next dock and hunkered down again, and just, you know, all they know to do is eat.
That's right.
And
that's right.
She couldn't believe that. She said, you sure? I said, well, yeah. I said, you know that's what we're fishing with, that purple-looking worm with a pink tail on it. And I said, you know, the bag was laying in the floor of the boat. And I said, yeah. I said, she said, I can't hardly believe that. I said, well, you see it just like I do. So, yeah, they'll just keep right on getting something to eat if they can.
That's right.
So, anyway, we'll go to one of our sponsors. Take us to the sponsor break, Dylan. Hey, folks, here at Tim's Tires, there's the times that they're open. That's 5 days a week. They're open from 8 to 12:30 on Saturdays. All right, folks, we're inside here in the warehouse. Just wanted to give you a quick look at all the tires and stuff they got. And here we are. There's some four-wheeler tires, lawnmower tires, just a mixture of about any kind of tire you want. So keep that in mind. Then here we get into the light truck, automobiles, that kind of thing. So just walk through here and give you a quick look at what they've got in stock here. I mean, it's it's just, I don't know, man. They must be a couple of thousand tires in here right now, if not more. Sizes, shapes. You truckers, you know the word. This is the place to get your tires for your trucks. And these over here, getting a little bigger sizes, light trucks, heavier automobiles, this kind of thing. And as you can just see back through there, it's just, heck, I don't know, this building's probably about 300 feet, one end and the other, and they're wall to wall. Remember Tim's Tires, folks. That's down here on Highway 27 on your way into Harriman, and get the best deals going. So give them a call, price check, whatever you want to, and if you want a special tire that they might not have, you could, they'll definitely get it for you. Tim's Tires. Let people know what we represent.
That's what we're all about. We do try to do an honest day's work for the people, and we've got operators from all over the DOE sites, TDA sites, the outside contractors. We're just about everywhere you see a heavy piece of equipment, it's a good chance that you'll see an operating engineer on it, rather it be Barnhart. I'd like to mention them, All Crane, and all of them that's signatory to us. We have over 100 contractors that's signatory to us, so I definitely appreciate those guys all the way in Chattanooga, Kingsport, Tullahoma, throughout all the way all the way up to Johnson City. So we do cover a big area, and just let us know if we can be any help to local contractors that come through these areas. We'll definitely send you some people.
All right, David. I appreciate all those good words, and we'll get this on the air, and I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. All right, folks, we're back. Wesley and I were on North Saturday, and we went and we caught 5 fish, and we just could not get things going. Fish some good places, and I'm just halfway convinced the fish was a little deeper than what we were fishing. We flipped some trees and a little bit of everything. So I'm gonna let Dylan show that minute and a half of film that we got, and then we'll come back to us. Pretty fish, Wes. He's colored real pretty.
Yeah, he is.
All right, there you go.
There he goes. Get another.
All right, folks. Our Wes is with a nice largemouth.
Yeah, we got to keep it.
I believe it is. Good deal, Wes.
Back in the water.
Back in the water.
All right, there's found our third fish. It's a nice one there, a little bit better fish. Pretty fish. Real pretty.
Knock the snot out of that thing, Wes.
Oh yeah, they'll do it to you.
I mean to tell you, he thumped it. He won it.
All right.
All
Nice
right,
one.
back in the water he goes.
Back in the water he goes. Get another.
That's a keeper.
All right, there's about another nice smallmouth. Not as big as that last one. He'll do.
So I can get that hook out of that Wes. Apparently is hooked, but it don't want to come loose. There it is.
There he is. All right, nice little fish.
All right, let's get him in the water and get another.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Our West is with a good fish right there now, folks.
Not a bad one.
Not a bad one. Pretty fish, West. Back in the water.
All right, there's probably our first fish of the day down here at Watts Bar. Nice
Yeah.
fish.
Yep. Back in the water,
Back
West.
in the water on a spinnerbait. There he goes.
All right. We had those 5 fish there Saturday, and Mike, we caught 3 of them on all 5 of them come on a crankbait.
Yeah.
Sure did. Just picking through the crankbaits, trying to find something that they'd bite, and it's just hard to get a bite on it. And man, we went up Island F there, and I'm some gun. I was really disappointed. I mean, the watercolor was good. had some turnover water in the back of those little old shallow pockets. You know, and had some good trees in the water, but we couldn't get a bite out of them. I don't know if the fish hadn't moved up there or what, but and I just kept thinking, man, we just stick with this right here, we'll eventually run up on them, you know, several. Well, we didn't, never. And you know, it really, I said, dang, I can't believe this. So then we came back down the lake and got on a couple of pockets there and caught them fish on that crankbait again.
Yeah.
And I felt like the fish were in that 10 to 12 foot range. You know, I'd make a long cast out there on the point, and it would be bumping the rocks, and then, you know, you'd come 10 feet and not bump at the bottom, so you knew the plug wasn't running that deep, and then be one get it. And so, but I like I said, I was really disappointed we didn't have a good day up there. I really felt like the weather and everything was pretty cooperative, and just didn't get the bites that I thought we should have. So I put on 2-3 different jigs, pitching and flipping the lay downs, you know, that was out in the water, and didn't seem to make any difference. None of them wanted it. Wasn't in there to get it or something. And usually a dang largemouth is, you know, they're right there. Heck, 2-3 foot of water, 4 foot of water.
Yes, sir.
And just didn't do any good with it. I think we had the 4 smallmouth and 1 largemouth, and that largemouth come on a crankbait. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Try to get back on, you know, all this rain. There's going to be some muddy water running in, and hopefully we can get back out on the lake and see what's going on.
Yes, sir. That's right.
So, anything else, Mike, that you can think about? The biggest thing that I didn't do up there was should have tried it was throw the spinnerbait some, and I stayed stuck with the crankbait and the jerkbait and the pitch and the jig.
Well, you know, you get back to what they used to do back years ago. That's all them fellas talked about was the jig fishermen, how they would, you know, in that muddy water in the springtime, and they'd hit them deep banks with that gobble worms on that jig pole and catch all kinds of big old fish up there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. But anyway, we wasn't doing that, but I really expected when I laid that crankbait down, I said, let me get my jig out here, and I swapped colors, and then I swapped to another color, and didn't seem to make any difference. They just wasn't hanging on those laydowns like they should have been. I would have thought, you know, it was perfect. The water had a little color to it, a little turnover color. Just couldn't get them to bite, but we're not going to give up on them, that's for sure.
I hear that.
Let's see, there was something else I wanted to mention there. I think the Morristown Marine Tournament's on Norris up at White Bridge this weekend.
Yeah.
And then Bass Pro Shop's coming out of Anderson County Park.
Yeah.
And you said you thought somebody mentioned one coming out of the POW?
Yeah, somewhere up POW, up our graveyard or somewhere up that way. Have one.
Well, it's the time of the year. It's you know, heck, there's one at about every boat ramp, you know, of some kind for sure.
I don't know what's going on at the Morristown Marine Bunch. They usually went out of 33 Bridge up there or something.
Yeah.
So they've changed up and went on down
Yeah, they're coming out of Big Creek there now. This coming weekend, at least that's what we've been told. So anyway, folks, speaking of that, be real careful. Wear your life jacket, and a lot of boat traffic, and muddy water, trash in the water. Shucks, Mike and I, back years ago, heck, we'd head up the Powell River there and run into, it looked like the forest out there in the middle of the lake.
That's right.
You had to, literally, it'd be just side to side with daggum trees and logs. And
Yeah.
I've done that a couple of times on Fort Loudon over there too. Couldn't, So anyway, do be safe, be careful, and wear your life jacket, and we'll go from there. God bless you all. We hope to have some good film next week. And stay tuned. We'll see you next week.
Hey folks, here at Edgemore Outdoors, we're going to run inside and shoot some film. Don't forget Edgemore Outdoors over here on Edgemore Road. Hey folks, we're in here at Edgemore Outdoors. Man, the place has been packed with people. The reason being because this is the best sporting goods store this side of the Mississippi River. So if you want to get in here and get you something, you better come by. See Jim and Vance and Jeannie here at Edgemore Outdoors. They've got everything you might need to fish with, whether it be from a boat or from the bank or whatever. Rods, reels, the walls are lined with baits, tackle. Just great store. Jim's been a sponsor of the show for a long time, and we really appreciate him and his family. And but do get by here and visit with them at Edgemore Outdoors. Live bait, just everything in the world. We'll just take a little quick stroll down through here. Jim said he was tired of seeing Vance on the TV every Thursday night, so he wanted me to get somebody besides him. I'll take that back. He didn't say that, but I thought about it. All right, Vance, what kind of special you got for us today?
Got all kinds of specials in here today.
Got all kinds of specials today. Anything in particular? Got a good sale on reels, rods.
We got some, we've been selling a bunch of these Corrados and Shimano SLX reels with the digital chips in them here lately. We got them in right and left. And
Okay.
We got a few of them right now, but it's a good reel. One of them's $189.99 and the other one's $249.99.
That's guaranteed not to backflash, is that right?
Well,
I'm
you
just
need to set the reel correctly, but when you set the reel right, it is really hard to backflash them. It works really well. We tested them when they come out to make sure that everything worked good. We got them.
Okay.
And they've been going good for us here.
Good deal, Vance. And that price on that's what?
There's one of them is $189.99 and the other one's $249.99.
All right. All right, Vance, we appreciate it. Folks, do get by here and visit Edgemore Outdoors. Can't go wrong. I think you'll be well satisfied once you come in the door.
Country Fresh Foods. You may not know the name, but you definitely know the taste. Our homemade fudge is shipped all over the country. Its quality is unmatched, and it's made right here in Oliver Springs. But you don't have to travel all over to enjoy it. You can get it right here at our retail store, Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts. The highest quality fudge in a countless variety of flavors. And we also carry a variety of candy and unique gifts for you to enjoy. Come enjoy the taste you have loved for years at Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts in Oliver Springs, a division of Country Fresh Foods.
Let's go fishing. You know it's really great. Let's go fishing. In the rivers and on the lakes. Let's go fishing. It's easy when you try. Floating on the water with good old old Steve and Mike. Floating on the water with good old Steve and Mike.
Life is made of moments. Moments to share. Moments that are special. And those that are everyday. How do we meet these moments for over 2 million people across 23 counties in East Tennessee? We will meet them not as just a group of hospitals, but as one community of care. Because this is about you.